WNAA 90.1 The Voice. I'm your boy Javon Hubbard here with my man Brad Brooks.
What's good?
Wanye Davis.
What's poppin' with it?
And we are 3rd and 30. What's going on, fellas? How you feeling?
Man, it's good, man. This weather creeping up on me, but it's feeling good outside.
Hey,
you know
man,
what I'm saying?
A&T, man, rolling along, man.
10-0.
You already know it's Aggie Pride, man.
10-0, man. Them boys balling out. They got Central this week. It's a big one, man.
It's still number 9, man, in FCS, just to keep you guys updated. Number 9 in FCS, behind some other people, man. But we're going to keep it moving, and we are definitely going to get them wins, and we're going to make sure we're on top at the very end.
Oh,
Aggie
absolutely.
Pride,
They got
man.
to ball out
You already
this
know.
weekend. They are about to ball
And
out.
who we got coming up this week, y'all?
Hey, man, it's a big
Central.
game, man. Central at home. You know, A&T already locked in for that
They
celebration
want
bowl.
to beat us, man.
Yeah, they locked
They
in
wanna
already
beat
for
us.
the celebration bowl down in Atlanta. So you already know them dudes about to do work. Shout out to Lamar Rayner, man. Brandon Park on the offensive line. Whole team, man. The season has been balling out. So I'm ready to see what Saturday gonna be talking
Can't
about.
wait.
Right, so
Can't
moving
wait.
forward to FBS, man. A lot has changed. All right, man, I was wrong. UGA is not like that.
Not like
They
that.
not like that, man.
Trying
So
to tell you.
what's the update? Who's our 4 and our bubbles, man? What's going on right now?
Man, UGA proved why you can't trust the SEC East team.
I'm telling you, man.
Got pummeled by Auburn. And remember we talked about last week, if Auburn can pull off Georgia and Bama, would they get into the college football playoff 4?
Right.
Which means if they do beat Bama this week, that means they get into the SEC championship. Which means they got to face Georgia again. It could be the same result. I don't know.
Right.
My 4 right now, though, I got Alabama. Obviously, Notre Dame gets knocked out with that huge loss to Miami.
41-8.
I got Clemson at number 2. I got Oklahoma at number 3, and I got the U at number 4. Those are my 4. And then the 5 and 6, I would definitely put TCU at 5, and then I would have Wisconsin. Well, I would have it switched. I would have Wisconsin at 5 and TCU at 6 since they just lost to Oklahoma.
Wow.
Got you.
First and foremost, let me go ahead and say, I don't think it was the SEC East is bad. The SEC East has been weak, but
Always
this
been weak.
game, this past weekend, Auburn winning, it was just a showcase that the SEC is still the best conference in America.
I like Auburn a lot,
First and
man.
foremost, you know, not only did Auburn have a great showing, you know,
Yeah.
they annihilated UGA. You know, Sonny Michel, Nick Chubb, those dudes only had a total of 46 rushing yards combined. That's the best tandem in college football. But it's the fact that not only did Auburn win, Mississippi State gave them a game. You know, we saw in trenches of the SEC, you know, Auburn and Alabama, they still got to play. That's the best conference in football. So let's go ahead and throw that out there. But Miami,
Man.
that's the team of the
U.
week. That's
Turnover
the team.
chain.
That's, you know, like my head coach Mark Ritt said, you know, everybody celebrate. We just celebrate the best. You know, that turnover chain is in full effect. They've been balling out. They already won the ACC Coastal, so they'll be playing Clemson in the ACC Championship game. So I'm looking at rankings. I'm going Bama. They should have been number 1 for, like, you know, when
Absolutely.
the college football playoff
Absolutely.
started.
Go ahead.
And then, you know, also, Miami's going to shoot up to that number 2 spot for me. Just you know,
Whoa.
what they did, beating Notre Dame at home like that. You know, Notre Dame was so gassed. You know, everybody was saying they had the best loss in the country, losing to Georgia. I don't think a loss can be good. You lose or you win. So Miami's number 2 for me. I'm going to go Clemson number 3, Oklahoma number 4, and then those 2 teams on the bubble is going to be Auburn number 5 and Wisconsin 6 for me.
So for Auburn, isn't Auburn a 2-loss team? Right?
Auburn is a
Auburn's
2-loss team.
But
Do
only
you
have
feel-
one
I
loss in
feel
the
like-
conference, though.
Right, and so I feel like of the 2-loss teams, like other Notre Dame and then Ohio State, I think they're the best of the 2-loss teams, right? So I think their chance
Absolutely.
to, you know, that's what I would say. I think but for me, I would do Miami. Alabama first, Miami, Wisconsin. For me, is still
So
intriguing.
y'all both have
I
Miami
still
jumping
like-
from 7 to 2?
I think they could jump
Yeah.
from 7. Of course, I definitely think they could. But one thing, so about Alabama though, that game was close. That Alabama win, I mean,
Yeah.
they got the win,
They
but
escaped.
they escaped.
I would definitely say Alabama. I think we all can agree I believe, I don't know if you guys agree with me, they will win the championship this year. I believe that they will win the college football championship. If they do, this will go down as one of Nick Saban's worst championship teams. They don't have the hype. It's just not the same anymore. They just haven't been that convincing.
What's the
this
issue
year.
you think?
Well, if you
could
watch,
pinpoint
them, ever since they lost Lane Kiffin last season,
Yeah.
Yeah,
you
their
know,
offense.
and I've been saying that since day one. You know, people thought Jalen Hurts was going to be a Heisman candidate. He's not.
Nah.
You know,
If he had Lane Kiffin, he would be.
Alabama quarterbacks, it's just like they don't have to. I don't think that's something that was in ever something that I thought coming into the season, Jalen Hurts is going to be a Heisman candidate.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, if you watch the game when they played Mississippi State this Saturday, when they lock in, the two things that make Alabama great are their defense and their exceptional running game. They have running backs on running backs.
3 of
So,
them.
when they started running the ball, they definitely took over. But Alabama's beatable in my opinion this year. If it's whether they're playing a team with a mobile quarterback or just a stout defense. Honestly, the way Miami's looking right now, I'm pushing for Clemson. I want to see Clemson get back to that title game. But the way Miami's defense is right now, because they don't even have their best player right now in their running back, and the way that defense looks, I think they can go toe to toe with anybody in the country right now. And like I said, Alabama's beatable. I don't know what they're going to do when they face Auburn in the Iron Bowl, but Miami, that's my favorite team.
Nobody's
right
beating Bama. Point blank.
So you still rocking with
nobody.
Bama.
I mean, if you think about it, look at in the past couple years. Obviously, they have the loss to Clemson.
Right.
Deshaun Watson was literally unreal. There's no quarterback in the country like that right now. Granted, Alabama's not as good as they were last year, but no one's out coaching Saban, and no one can outplay them. Absolutely. As far as the college football playoff, Georgia had their best shot. Georgia got proven that they weren't all that good. Clemson definitely isn't doing it this year. Oklahoma can't do it this year. I don't see. Miami maybe could give them a game depending on how the seeding works out.
Right.
But I don't see anyone beating
You
Alabama.
don't see them losing.
I don't.
So they running the table. They're just
Absolutely.
going.
Absolutely.
Wow.
I see them running the table. Roll Tide.
All right. So just in case anybody, any other update on the Heisman, you guys change anything with your Heisman? Or are we still sticking to
Baker.
Baker? Still Baker?
Baker.
Oh, yeah, it's Baker's to lose, man. That dude is balling out. We saw what he did against TCU. We saw what he did against Ohio State. The list continues. Oklahoma State. That man is going to win the Heisman. Go ahead and back him in New York.
Yeah, it's really because it's too late in the season for any of those other candidates to make a surge. I think it's like Khalil Tate, the quarterback from Arizona. They're not good enough.
Yeah.
Saquon Barkley, Penn State doesn't play any more big games. Bryce Love, they got a good win this weekend, but they're just not good enough. He's on the forefront.
He's got the wins and the
exactly.
stats.
He got the wins and the stats, and he's going to have the big games to back it up as well.
Cool. So moving forward, guys, to NFL. Starting Thursday night. Well, first of all, man, before I even get into any of this, man. Like I've been saying every single week, man. Who that say gonna beat them Saints, man? Who that say they gonna beat them Saints, man?
They just
look,
hot
man.
right
We
now.
0-2, and ever since then we've been rolling, man. We're not stopping YM. I'm telling you right now.
They hot.
NFC is ours, man. I'm not saying the NFC East, South, Northwest, whatever. No, NFC is ours, bro.
The
I'm
NFC,
tell you
y'all?
right, the whole NFC, bro. We're going to get the ring. You can keep your little good, you know what I'm saying, your MVP. Y'all can have the MVP, bro. We're not worried about that. We're looking at bigger things, man. I'm talking about Mark Ingram, 131, running like he back in college, man. 3 touchdowns. I'm talking about vintage Mark Ingram. Drew Brees not making any mistakes out there, man. We just have, it's looking great, man. The year is looking great. The defense getting turnovers. I feel like Rob Ryan is texting somebody, telling us what to do from a satellite, you know what I'm saying, range somewhere else. Because we are just really just going after the ball. It's 3 or 4 people to a tackle every time. I mean, what do you want, man? When
They're
we see
playing
y'all,
well.
If we see y'all, y'all don't want
I
us.
can't wait.
Y'all don't want
Y'all
us.
don't want
I'm telling
us.
you right now. Y'all don't want none
Y'all
of
don't
that.
want us.
The Saints look
Y'all don't
good
want none of
right
that.
The Saints
man.
look good. Y'all don't want us though, man. We just
Matter
got
of fact,
man.
the Saints don't just look good; they look great right now.
they ain't look-
Who would have
okay.
said a November game? The Saints will be traveling to
Telling
Buffalo,
you.
man, and they will be winning not by passing the football, by defense and running the
running the
football.
ball.
So that's very
Okay,
impressive to see what they're doing. But my biggest story in the NFC this past weekend, the Minnesota Vikings, man. That's a team that's going under the radar. 7-2. Mike Zimmer, all he does is produce, man. They remind me of the Chiefs of the NFC, man. People get injured and they just keep going, man. That does not bother them. Their defense is stout. And then their best defensive player, Everson Griffin, he didn't even play this past weekend.
Yep.
So, they still got dogs like
Teddy
Xavier
Bridgewater gonna sit on the
Rhodes.
ground, man.
Oh, and
We don't need
Case
him. We don't
Keenum,
need
man.
him.
Who would have thought Case Keenum be out there throwing 4 TDs, man, tossing them things, man. Adam Thielen had a big game. Stephon Diggs had a big
And let
game.
me tell you about that. I think Adam Thielen is the most underrated wide receiver in the NFL. Period. Adam Thielen, I can't remember the last time I've seen him drop a pass.
And then-
because every time you throw it in his vicinity, it's going to be
Man,
caught.
And then
He catches
even with
over
that,
people.
Javon, this is going to go back to Wanye. I don't think, last week we said, as of right now, the Eagles are the best team. Just,
Right.
everything, how the chips fall. But it's some teams that can beat.
The
And they're
Rams,
capable
man.
of them,
All
man.
right,
The
Rams,
Rams,
man.
All right,
the
let me
Vikings,
the
let me
Rams,
interject.
man.
Let me
Don't sleep
interject
on
y'all.
Carolina, man.
Let me
Do
interject.
not sleep
Hold
on
on.
Carolina, man.
Let me interject y'all young boys.
Here
You
we
mentioned
go.
Carolina.
Teach
been
us
there,
something.
Been there, done that.
Okay.
What y'all got to understand is there's a difference between a very good team and a hot team.
Okay.
The Vikings are a hot team.
The Saints?
Case Keenum ain't going nowhere on the road winning no playoff games. I'll tell you that right now.
So Carson Wentz, who hasn't been in a playoff game, he's proven.
telling you, man.
He's proven.
I'm telling
Oh, he's the MVP.
But
He's
he-
getting it
and that's
done.
fine.
But he hasn't been in
But
the
the thing
playoffs.
is, he's not going.
We gonna see.
Hang on.
We gonna see.
He's not gonna have to go on the road because we locking up that number 1 seed. Point 1. Point 2.
So y'all
The
beating the
Vi-
Cowboys next week with Eagles.
Oh, absolutely. Did you not see their performance against the Falcons?
Hey,
Come on, we got the
come
number
on.
one. We got the number 1 rush defense in the league.
But you know Cowboys
Come
anyway.
on.
That's that rivalry, man. You know they gonna play up to that.
They
You know
can play.
you know
They
they're
can play
playing
up
to
as
that.
much as they want,
Come on now.
but that score gonna be looking down for them at the end of the game.
All right.
Point blank is the Saints. Y'all are a hot team
So
right now.
we hot too. Okay.
Y'all are a hot team right
Uh-huh.
now. You
So
got
a
a
hot
veteran
team- a hot
quarterback.
team
You
can't
don't
beat
have the
the
That's what I'm
receivers
saying. So you're saying the difference between hot and a good team? Where does it stop?
because they haven't beat anyone to where, as far as the Eagles, the
So
Eagles
Buffalo wasn't a big win. When Buffalo has been defensively, they
Buffalo-
have been locking people up.
They have.
Tyrod Taylor's been playing great football against all defenses. I mean, so what do you?
I mean, look at my Eagles. They just put 51 on the best defense in the league.
I
2 weeks
understand, but
ago.
you're saying that but we know that Philly is one of the best teams, if not the best team right now
Absolutely.
in the NFL. Right. The Bills are not. They've been, I'm not saying hiding behind, but they've been running behind that defense. They've had some good offensive plays, but that defense has really been doing work. So, I mean, come on. You guys are all around. Defensively, you guys are getting picks. You're returning stuff for touchdowns.
Yep.
Carson Wentz, MVP performances
Absolutely.
over and over and over again.
got a good running game.
But I'm saying, okay, we understand that. So you can't say that the Saints aren't doing that.
Y'all not.
We lost 2 in a row, and after that, we're
Y'all
moving.
not. Ain't nobody coming to Philly and beating them boys, man.
All I gotta
That's what I'm
say
trying to
is-
tell you. No one is coming to Philadelphia and beating them boys. We have the Cowboys next week. Then we have the Rams. Then we have the Seahawks. They finish out that's gonna be a tough stretch for them boys. But they finish out that stretch, they going 15
think the
one.
Rams
All I gotta
Seahawks
say
gonna
is,
give y'all something.
all I
They
gotta
won
say
15-1.
is, all I gotta say is, man, I'm on the same fence with you, Javon. You know, Philadelphia 8-1 right now. It looks good. You know, they all have been playing good, both sides of the ball, but they still got Dallas 2 times.
That's
still got
nothing,
Seattle,
bro.
Still
That's-
got LA. So that's all I want to say. You've been
That's
talking about,
nothing,
you know,
bro.
your best
All right,
team.
man, look,
You
we gonna
can't-
run-
you can't-
we
you
gonna
can't
run through
say
these
that.
games, man, because I can sit here and argue with you all night. But
We
gonna
can.
we gonna run through these games.
Fly,
man, all right?
Eagles, fly.
Whatever, man. Look, starting Thursday, Seattle got the job done against Arizona, 22-16. You already know the quarterback was Drew Stanton. He didn't make any mistakes, but it was whatever. They got the job done. I don't know if you guys saw that crazy play by Russell Wilson where
I
he
did.
did that
That
loop
was-
de
that was-
loop
that
and then
was- yeah, that
bombed
was
it
lucky.
to
Doug
Doug Baldwin, but it wasn't a
Yeah.
touchdown, obviously. But anyway, and they held Adrian Peterson to just 29 yards.
Yeah, they lost. But they lost a big one in Richard Sherman, and that's the.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys saw. Richard Sherman wrote a piece in the Players Tribune last year about Thursday night
Mm-hmm.
games and how your regular schedule on a Sunday night game goes, how it goes throughout the week. How Mondays kind of work out a little bit, get the lactic acid out. Tuesday's a rest day. Wednesday's kind of like a little light practice. Thursday's kind of more of a heavy practice, and Friday's more like a rest day. And how when you have a Thursday game, you literally only have 3 days.
Yeah.
And so, I think the NFL has to do away with these Thursday night games. They're not good. People are getting hurt. It's just not fair to the players at all. So they lost a big one in Richard Sherman.
Right.
Earl Thomas still recovering from that hamstring. I don't know how
And
they're
that's
going to
bad, too, because you saw Jeremy Lane, who wasn't even supposed to be on the team because, remember, he was
Yeah.
supposed to go to Houston.
Exactly.
But he stayed back, obviously, because he failed his
Physical.
It's called physical. Yeah, he failed his physical, so he had to stay back, and he was getting fried. I mean,
Yeah.
it's like as soon as Richard Sherman came out, Drew Stanton was just aiming at that side, and they were getting completions, which they hadn't been able to do the whole game. But after
Absolutely.
they made it a game after he left, obviously.
Exactly.
So I mean, it's immediate. You can see the change. Green Bay getting the win against Chicago.
Brett Hundley played
23-16.
well.
He did.
Brad Hundley played well. He definitely looked like he's easing into his
Right,
easing
I can
into,
feel that, too.
easing
I'm getting
into
that
being
sense
the
as well.
quarterback. Absolutely.
Cleveland Cleveland losing against Detroit 38-24.
They were close for a little bit.
Yeah, they were. It was a very close game. Deshaun Kaiser, I think Deshaun Kaiser played okay. I don't think he played
played
bad.
alright.
He got the rushing touchdown. He made some good passes.
Their defense played a lot. And, I mean, they played better for short period of time.
Right,
But
right.
they did their thing. Cleveland is. I don't think they're gonna get a win this year, but they're starting to put it together. It was a good stepping stone.
Right, Tennessee easing by Cincinnati. That was a pretty good game. I don't know if you guys
Montez
caught that
perfect,
one.
man.
Yeah.
He's an idiot.
Yeah, man,
an
I'm
idiot, but
I'm so sick
he's
of
an
him.
He won't face
I'm
a
so-
suspension, by the way. They said he won't face a suspension.
he
He
got
gonna have to come out
I'm
that
so
check
sick
though.
of him.
He gonna have to come
Oh
out
yeah,
that
of
check,
course.
though.
Oh, you know he's getting a fine.
I'm so sick of him.
Pittsburgh, that was kind of an ugly game to me.
Very
But-
ugly. Very,
Pittsburgh got
very,
the win
very
20-17 against Indianapolis. I didn't like that one. I mean, I don't know. Big Ben, I think it's time to hang it up.
It's time to
He
go.
doesn't look good to me at
It's
all.
time
I
to
feel like
go.
he's forcing stuff. They couldn't get the ball. I think it was 0-0 almost at halftime.
Yeah.
I mean, they
It's
got,
time
you know, and so they ended up. It was a lot of field goals up until the last little bit of the game.
It's time to go.
Jacoby Brissett though, I like his confidence.
He's an
I
NFL
think-
quarterback, dog.
Yeah.
He's
really-
an
he
NFL
an
quarterback.
quarterback.
He's going to be some good trade bait this offseason, absolutely.
Right. I'd like to see him find a home, man, and really settle in and become that piece that people need. 'Cause I think he has the arm. I think he makes good decisions. I like Jacoby Brissett. Tampa Bay getting the win against New York Jets, 15-10. Minnesota, 38-30 against
win.
Washington. Thought that
Big
one was
win.
big too. Again, like we mentioned, Case Keenum getting the job done.
Yeah, he's doing his
Jerick
thing.
McKinnon looks good. I mean, they look
Stephon
good.
Diggs.
Stephon Diggs looks
Stephon
great.
Diggs and Adam
Thielen.
Thielen.
Yeah, this offense for those guys looks good all around. Especially for a team that we thought was going to be all defense. Really, we didn't expect
Absolutely.
this much offense from them. I don't
Especially
think.
once Teddy Bridgewater went down and Sam Bradford.
Right.
They started out 5-0 last year, so they got the pieces and they kind of went downhill. They're starting to keep it together though this year.
Yeah, if you look at the month of November, man, all the teams that are at the top of their division right now, they were at the bottom last year. The Rams,
Wow.
the Eagles, Minnesota Vikings, and
That's
the
a good
Saints. So
point.
all those teams, man, you know,
It's been a
you
flip.
never, NFL is always a flip, man. You know, every year is just a new cycle, man. So always got to come to play.
Jacksonville, that defense locking up 20-17 against Phillip Rivers and
Best
Los Angeles.
defense
Yeah,
in
did
the NFL, man.
Did you guys see that crazy play where the I can't remember who it was, but the Chargers got an interception and the safety was running, showboating, and then went down, didn't advance the ball. Chargers go 3 and out. Jaguars come down and kick a field goal.
I mean, yeah, and they had
That's just
also,
losing plays, man.
Blake Bortles is getting more into that. Leonard Fournette didn't have a good game. He had like 29
No,
yards, I
yeah,
think, maybe
didn't have a
30
good
yards. But Blake Bortles throwing the ball a lot. I don't know if they're moving towards that again because remember for a while they were just ground and pound. Blake Bortles was throwing the ball maybe 10 times a game, but now he threw the ball 38 times.
Well, the Chargers do have a good rush defense, so they got a solid D line up there with Joey Bosa and them boys, so they had to sling that rock and they did their thing.
And the Rams just running through that Houston defense, man.
Ooh.
Without J.J. Watt, I mean, you can tell they need help. They're just running on the ground, passing. Robert Woods is becoming just a staple in that offense.
Side note, can we all agree that I believe that Jared Goff and Carson Wentz, that 1 and 2 combo is already better than Jameis and Marcus Mariota, the 1 and 2 combo of a few years ago. Jared Goff is balling. Carson Wentz is obviously doing his thing as well. Marcus Mariota, we haven't heard nothing from
He's had
him.
a terrible year.
And Jameis
Yeah.
Winston with the
Yeah, that was terrible.
Come on, man. Like, come on. I honestly,
L.
I like this. Jared Goff he's starting to make his case for best young quarterback as well. He's doing his thing. He's balling.
All right, guys, is it time to worry about Dallas? 27-7. Is it time to worry? I know you wanted to talk about that slightly. Is it? I mean, what's going on with
Hey,
Dallas?
man, Dallas, number one, first and foremost, Ezekiel Elliott. That is the engine that makes it go.
Yeah.
So, when they're missing that running game, they're not all at, they're not at full strength. They're not, clicking on all cylinders, to say the least. But I don't think, it's time to panic in Dallas. Sunday, they had a bad showing against the Falcons. But, the same thing, though, they have a young secondary. They have a team that a lot of people, they say it's cliche, anybody can run behind the offensive line, but that's not true.
absolutely not.
Anybody cannot just run behind the offensive line.
Very true.
Zeke does not get enough credit for the type of running back that he is. He pass blocks, he catches out the backfield, he does so much. But, I still think this team, with the way their schedule's set up, they have a chance to get here. I already said, I think, they're going to give Philadelphia a game.
Mm-hmm.
So, NFL, it's a week-to-week thing. Every game is about matchups. It's about who can scheme. So, I think, Dallas, it's not time to panic. It's not time to, just say the season is over. Zeke is going to serve in 6 games, and hopefully, they can still stay on track to be a playoff team, and we'll see down the line.
Dallas Cowboys fans, I'm looking into both of the cameras. It is time to panic. Throw in the towel. Get rid of all your Cowboys gear. Don't expect playoffs. Don't expect nothing.
Uh-oh.
Zeke, I told y'all, Zeke's suspension was going to come at the worst possible time. He kept on trying to fight it. If they got Tom Brady to serve his 4-game suspension after 2 years after he committed whatever he did, they were absolutely going to get Zeke. It's over with. 6 games, he's not going to come back until, week 16, I believe?
Yeah.
They can't run the football. They're very similar to the Panthers. They don't have a quarterback who can sling that thing 40 times a game,
And
man.
they're way behind Philly in the division. too.
Exactly. They're way too far behind, and the NFC as a whole is very good. So, as far as a wild card, It's not happening. I see this team maybe going 10-6.
Man, speaking of the NFC East, man, the Giants, they are horrible. I watched that game on Sunday, man.
No
Janoris
effort.
Jenkins,
I know you
Janoris
no
Jenkins,
effort.
not even trying to make tackles, man.
Oh,
Getting
no
back
effort.
all that
That-
money,
yeah,
man.
those
And
dudes
it's like, it
bad.
just comes a time as a head coach like McAdoo, bruh. Like, are those dudes, like, because a lot of people, you know, they do play for themselves, you know, contracts, clauses, you know, all the signing bonuses. But it's like, it comes a time, man, like, you got to get the troops to rally, man. Even though you're having a bad season, it's like, you playing.
Dirty soda and styrofoam. Spend a day to get my mind blown. Dress it up and go to Nassau. 200